Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I actually saw Jessica Bruan do this video first. I think she's the one that created this video, but I have seen a few of my other friends do it as well. So I will link all the videos down below of the other girls that I think you should watch. A few YouTubers here I've seen do it. But today we're gonna be talking about makeup that I was not influenced to purchase through YouTube. So it's kind of the opposite of that old tag that went around where YouTube made me buy it. This is the opposite of that. So these are products that I bought completely on my own without any influence, not seeing any reviews or anything like that. So I went through my collection and tried to pull out things that I bought, keeping that in mind. And it was actually a lot more challenging than I expected because a lot of products either I got in gratis or I received in PR or in a BoxyCharm, or they were things that I saw someone do a review about, or I included also like social media. Like if I saw the photos on social media and got all hyped up with the hype of it, then I included those things as well. So that kind of narrowed it down. So these are products that I was like in store or online, didn't hear any feedback on, and was just on a whim decided to purchase. So that's what we're talking about today. I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. If you are new here to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy this video and choose to subscribe while you're here. But let's go ahead and jump on in. So I actually want to start with lip products because surprisingly, I only have two. I was going through my lip drawers. I have a lot of lip products, but as I was going through my lip drawers, a lot of them I got in PR or in gratis. That was like the main bulk of it. But then once I kind of factored those out, a lot of those products were influenced by social media. My whole MAC collection, I started buying those after hearing people talk about them here on YouTube years ago, and you know, the Urban Decay one, same thing. So if I wasn't sure if I had heard about it before buying it, I didn't include it. So there were only two lip products that I could find that I didn't hear about at all on social media before buying. And the first one is from Sephora collection. This is their cream lip stains. Now everybody talks about these. Everybody talks about these now because they're really, really good. I have a lot of different shades of them. This one that I grabbed just to talk to you guys about is shade number 40, but I want to say I have like 10. I love them so, so much. But when I originally bought my first one, I was working at Sephora. They were pretty new, and I hadn't heard anyone talk about them yet, but I decided to grab one and try it out. So originally I hadn't heard about it, but now, like I said, everybody loves these for a good reason. They are my favorite formula for a liquid lipstick. That's why I own so many. They are more comfortable, they're not as drying, but they're really long wearing at the same time, and they have a ton of shades to pick from. So I definitely really, really enjoy these. The other lip product is also from Sephora collection. This one's a little bit newer. These are their Outrageous Plump Effect glosses. It only comes in 3 shades. The shade I have here is number 2. I think I own the clear one as well. But I really like these. I think they're really nice. When these first launched, I saw the packaging and I was like, that's so cute. I really want one. I just really loved the like cushion detail where it looks like it's cushioned. Anyways, I don't know. I'm a sucker for packaging, so that's a swatch of this one. They are a little on the sticky side, but it's a plumping gloss. I don't think I've ever found a plumping gloss that is not a little bit sticky. They do have a little bit of a tingly feeling when you apply them, but they're not super intense either. So they remind me a little bit of like the Buxom ones as far as the intensity of the tingling. So I do really enjoy these as well. All right, let's talk about primers next. I have just 2 primers that I could find. The first one is this one here from Almay. This is called the 5-in-1 primer. I was just at the drugstore kind of looking through. I don't even think this was new at the time. Well, it has a sticker that says new, so maybe it was. But I was just kind of like walking through the drugstore and trying to see if I could find anything that I wasn't familiar with. I wanted to try some new drugstore products. And I saw this and it reminded me a little bit of the Stila One Step Correct, how it has the different color correctors built into one. So I thought I would pick it up and try it, and I do really like it. As you can see, I've used a lot of this product already. It's one of my favorite primers, especially for a drugstore primer. I think it's really, really nice. But I had not heard anyone talk about this at all. In fact, Almay in general, I don't hear people talking about very often. It is a drugstore brand that I see at my drugstore but they have a very small section and I just don't hear people talking about their products very often. And then the other primer that I bought without hearing anyone talk about it, this is from The Body Shop. This one I actually found at TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx gets me, like they just get me. I buy stuff there all the time without hearing about it. I'm just like, oh, that looks interesting, I'm gonna try it. So this is from The Body Shop. It's the Wonder Blur primer. I think this is a nice primer. I have not ever, still to this day, heard anyone talk about it. Again, Body Shop is one I just don't hear a lot of people talking about in general. But this is a very like silicone-y kind of feeling primer. Reminds me a little bit of like the Makeup Forever smoothing primer. It's got a little thicker kind of smoothing consistency and definitely silicone-y. But yeah, I never heard anyone talk about this one either. Let's talk about some more TJ Maxx stuff real quick. So the next one is this one from Algenist. This is the color correcting bronzer. Now this one I bought at Algenist, but I had seen it before in store because we actually did carry it at my Sephora, but I never heard anyone review it or talk about it. It was just one of those items that we got. It didn't stay very long and then it disappeared pretty quickly, and I don't think I sold any and never heard anyone talk about it. I didn't know anything about it, and then I saw it at TJ Maxx for like 10 bucks and I was like, I'm gonna just try it, and I actually really love this bronzer. I think it is actually a really, really good formula. It's really nice because it's color correcting, so it just kind of blends into your skin tone. It's one of those bronzers that you just can't go wrong with this bronzer. When you apply it, it just blends perfectly. You don't have to work hard at it. It's just amazing. So I was really happy that I found it at TJ Maxx for 10 bucks because I want to say it was like, was it around like $35 or something like that? I can't remember the full retail price for it, but I did get a super good deal on this. But yeah, I still never hear anyone talk about it, but I really love it. Okay, I do have one other bronzer to mention, and that one is this here from L'Oreal. I actually bought this the same time I bought that Almay primer. I was just at the drugstore. I was in the mood. I had some money set aside to buy some new products, and I was in the mood to just try some new things. And this was actually on the display of like new releases in Rite Aid, I want to say. And I saw it and I was like, wow, that's a really big pan size. And I've been looking for some good drugstore bronzers, so I decided to buy it. This is so nice, you guys. It's very, very creamy, very easy to blend. I like the color of it. It's got a more like neutral undertone. It's not too warm at all, and it's not too cool either. It's just like the perfect undertone. Kind of a satin finish to it. It's not completely matte, but it's not shimmery by any stretch of the word. So I would say it's more like a satin finish, but I really enjoy this one. I have been seeing this showing up at my local drugstores on clearance. So if you can find it on clearance right now, I would highly recommend picking it up. I have the shade Light, by the way, but I know you can still find this like on Amazon and online as well. So definitely was really happy that I tried that guy. All right, next up I have a blush from NYX. Now this is called the NYX Baked Blush. I hear people talk all the time about their other blushes, the flat ones, but I've never seen anyone talk about these baked blushes. And I actually found this in the clearance section at Target. I always stop and look through that. Clearance gets me, like you guys know, I'm a sucker for sales when it comes to makeup. So I saw this and I was like, it looks pretty, like inside the pan, it looks so pretty and kind of sparkly, and I wanted to try it. So I did pick it up. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it was a pretty good deal. I mean, it's okay. It's not my favorite blush I've ever tried. It definitely does not swatch well. Like I could swatch this for 10 minutes and you wouldn't be able to see it. It picks up better with a brush, but it is still very, very light in the pigmentation, and you really have to like build it to get it to show up. So for that reason, it's not my favorite. I don't know if this will make it through the declutter, but that one I didn't hear about at all. I still never hear anyone talk about these. All right, let's move on to some highlighters. The next one is this here from Peter Thomas Roth. This one is another one that got me when I worked at Sephora. Sephora was dangerous, you guys. Working there was so dangerous. Anytime a new product would show up, I'd immediately go over, test it out, play with it on my hand, and I wanted everything. And we had this drawer that was dedicated for holds for clients. So if they came in and they wanted to get something, you could hold it for 24 hours and put it in the drawer, and they'd have to come back and get it. Otherwise we put it away. But as employees, we were allowed to hold things too, but we had a limit on how long we were able to do it. But anyway, that holds drawer, my little section of that holds drawer was always full. I would just like see something and want it so bad, so I'd stick it in the holds drawer, and then I'd see something else, stick it in the holds drawer. I'd have so many items in there, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't really need that, and I'd put it back on the shelf, and then it was like always like things rotating in and out of my section of the holds drawer. It's so dangerous working at Sephora, you guys. But this guy is one of those items. As soon as I saw this come into the store, I was like, I need that right away. I need that because, first of all, it's from Peter Thomas Roth, which I love the Peter Thomas Roth line. He has really good anti-aging products, and this is supposed to be a lifting and firming cream, and that also highlights your skin. So I was like, yes, please, because I love anything lifting and firming. You guys know I'm a sucker for that. And then I love highlighters, and this is such a beautiful liquid highlighter. It gives you just such a natural glow to the skin that I usually layer it underneath like a foundation, but it peeks through and just gives you that really beautiful look. It almost reminds me of the amount of intensity that you get from the Becca Backlight Primer. But this is also for firming and lifting, so yeah, I do love this one, and I never heard anyone talk about it before I purchased it. I do hear people every once in a while mention this now, but not a lot, like not often. It's not something that I'm hearing a lot of people talk about, but I really enjoy it. Okay, so next up I have a highlighter to mention. This is from Laura Mercier. This is the Face Illuminating highlighter, and I have the shade Indiscretion. So this was one of those Sephora VIB sale like splurges where I was in the store trying to figure out what I wanted to buy during the sale, and I just saw this in the pan and I was like, that is so stunning, so I grabbed it. So I didn't really hear anybody talk about this, or I didn't notice anybody really talking about it. Like, it's another one though that since I purchased it, I have heard other people mention these here and there, but I really love this. In fact, I love it so much that I then purchased this guy here, which is the Face Illuminating Collection palette from Laura Mercier as well. So you get 4 of the little versions of them. This does have Indiscretion in it as well, so I don't really know if I need both, like it in here and the full size. I don't know, I might end up decluttering my full size, but anyway, you get 4 of those highlighters in here, and this is another product I never heard anyone talk about this. This was living on my Sephora wish list for like 2 years, and then I finally bought it in the fall VIB sale or the spring one, I can't remember. That's bad that I don't remember, but I bought it recently in one of the recent VIB sales, and I'm very happy with it. I love it. I think it's a great formula. They're fairly intense without being like too crazy glittery or anything like that. And I love the fact that you get 4 totally different shades in here. These shades, none of these shades are anything like each other. They're very, very different, so I really appreciate that as well. Okay, another kind of like face palette. This is from Physicians Formula. This is another one I didn't hear anyone talk about until after I bought it, and then I was seeing it everywhere. As soon as I saw this in store, my friend Myers, they're really good about getting the new stuff out like right away. I saw this in store and I grabbed it immediately. I knew I wanted it because I love the butter bronzer so much, and I was hoping this was the same formula. Now it's not exactly the same, but it's still really nice. It's just this little contour palette. So you get a matte highlight, you get a contour powder and a bronzer. This bronzer is a little warm on me and a little deep on me, but these 2 powders are really beautiful. So I do love those. The packaging, you know, Physicians Formula, they're so bulky. I don't understand why they do this. I think there was a weird brush in here. Oh, it's still there. They have this little brush in here, but nobody likes the brushes, Physicians Formula. Just make it flat. That would make everybody a lot more happy. But anyways, yeah, I do see people talking about this now. The last couple cheek products I wanted to mention together, these are from the brand Antonym. So Antonym is one of those brands that I believe it's online only at Sephora, or if it's in store, it's only very select stores. So I have never seen this brand in store. I do have both the baked face powder and I also have this blush. I do have a quad from them as well, I just didn't pull it out. But all 3 of those products that I purchased from Antonym, I purchased without hearing other people talk about it. I just happened to be on the Sephora website and I was like, you know, there's all these brands I'm not familiar with, and I was kind of just scrolling through and pulling up, you know, searching by brand, and pulling up brands that I wasn't familiar with and looking at what products they had to offer. And when I did that, I found Antonym and I saw that it looked very interesting and I wanted to try it out. So I think I even mentioned this. I did. I mentioned this in the 8 brands I wanted to try in 2018. So I just randomly picked out 3 products, which was the face powder, blush, and the eyeshadow quad to try out. And I have not heard anybody review these or talk about these on their channel at all. Ever. I will say the face powder I think is okay. I have the shade Light and it's a little dark on me. I'm hoping this summer when I get a little color it'll work better. The blush I love. And then the eyeshadow quad is definitely not worth the money. I would skip the eyeshadows for sure. Their quality is all right, but their price is too high. I will say the packaging is not my favorite because these wooden with this wooden packaging, the hinges tend to get sticky, and when they do, it cracks the wood here and then it breaks. So I've already had the eyeshadow palette break on me. The one that I have now is broken, and then the face powder was broken when it arrived, so I exchanged it for a new one. So they just tend to break easily, so keep that in mind about the packaging. And for the price point, I feel like you shouldn't have a problem with the packaging breaking. All right, and to end the video, I have some eye products to talk about. So a few eyeshadow palettes. The first one I wanted to mention is this here from Makeup Forever. This is fairly new. I want to say I got this like right before we moved out of our old house, so it would have been a couple months ago. This is from Makeup Forever. It is the Starlit Glitter palette, and this is what it looks like on the inside. This was a total impulse buy. I was not planning to buy this. I had not heard of it. I had no idea what it was. I was cleaning, actually preparing for our move, and I was really tired and really just stressed out. And then I got an alert on my phone from my Sephora app saying that it was limited time available glitter Makeup Forever or something like that. Something along those lines. And I was like, what is it? I'm buying it right now. So I jumped on the app and bought this totally on a whim, and I have to say, I wish I would not have purchased it. It's not that it's bad quality, it's just a product I don't find myself really reaching for. It's basically all glitter top coats. So they're very, very sheer glitters that you'd have to apply over the top of something else, and you need a sticky base because otherwise that glitter does fall away, and then you end up with glitter all over your face. So they are really pretty. They are really pretty eyeshadows, but they just take more work than I'm willing to put in. If I want to wear glitter, I usually like to wear like the Stila glitters or the ones from Butter London, the little eye gloss things, or my Bodyography pressed pigments. Those glitters stay on my eyes. This one did not. I end up getting this inside my eye, and then my eye gets irritated and it's all over my face. So yeah, that wasn't a good idea. And then speaking of Stila, next up is this little palette here from Stila. I do hear people talk about these Stila palettes, but I don't hear them like often talking about them or how good they are. So when I bought this, I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't heard a whole lot about them. But this one here is the Stila Eyes Are the Windows Mind palette. So it's the all matte palette. The quality on this is so good, you guys. Like, I don't know why more people aren't talking about them. I feel like it's just because Stila is not a brand that sends out a ton of PR. They just don't. They don't send out PR the way that Too Faced and Tarte have, you know, this, and Urban Decay have PR lists where they're sending out massive amounts of PR to influencers, and Stila is not a brand like that. So if someone's talking about Stila, most likely they bought it themselves. So that's why I feel like it's not talked about as often, but it's really good. Like, it's a really good quality. So I'm really happy that I just randomly decided to pick this up because I really, really love this palette. All right, and then I also have a couple of these little Maybelline eyeshadow palettes to talk about. I feel like this packaging or this format from Maybelline is fairly new. I think they came out with these the end of last year or something like that. So I have 2 here. This one is the City Mini Palette in Chill Brunch Neutrals, and this one is Matte About Town. I think they're really cute, really travel friendly. I think the formula is okay. For drugstore, it's okay. Not my favorite formula, but they're decent. So yeah, I don't really hear anyone talk about these, good or bad. I just don't really hear anyone talk about them. So yeah, I just kind of randomly decided to grab them when I found them at the drugstore. All right, and then the very last item that I wanted to mention is this number 7 eyeshadow palette. This is another one I actually found at TJ Maxx, and I don't think I've ever even seen this before. So I was surprised when I saw it at TJ Maxx because I didn't remember seeing it in store, and that brush is just not gonna stay. And I never hear anyone talk about the eyeshadows from number 7 in general, but this is an all shimmer palette. It's in my everyday makeup drawer, but I still haven't tried it yet. I just find myself reaching for palettes that have mattes too, so I need to make an effort to remember to grab this when I'm doing my makeup next time. But anyways, that's all of the products that I could find that I bought kind of on a whim on my own without any influence. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these products. Let me know what was the last thing you guys bought without any YouTube influence. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.